We bring on a correspondent of importance, our good friend John Gizzi, the Newsmax White House correspondent. There he is again, bedecked in his fedora as he joins us from Newsmax, Washington. So, Congress is back, brother Gizzi. Is the tax deal going to get worked out?
Yes, it will, for the simple reason, and JD, you know this better than most, no member of Congress wants to be here butting up to the Christmas holiday. This is something which, if the Tax Writing Ways and Means Committee leaves it alone, will lead to a future disaster and a lot of unmerry Christmases for lawmakers. My guess is they will do the patching and will do so within a period of 2 weeks, and this will be Chairman Dave Camp's swan song on a happy note as he leaves the helm of Ways and Means.
But they'll have to scale back a lot of this, right? It's just the extensions of the, quote, non-controversial issues from both sides of the aisle. No new ground being broken in terms of tax policy.
No new ground being broken. And again, this is the sad part of Chairman Camp's legacy. Along with Senator Max Baucus on the Senate side, he wanted to make genuine tax reform. That is an overhaul of the whole 11,000-page U.S. tax code. His legacy as he left Congress, nothing like that will happen. It will not be anything monumental. It will be minimal, but it'll keep the government running.
And speaking of keeping the government running, the way that some of your colleagues there in the White House press corps choose to portray it, they talk about a, quote, shutdown of government. How contentious, how tough is it going to be for Speaker Boehner to get the Republican conference to go along with some form of CR? Or what do you think is next by the reckoning of House Republicans at least?
All right. A lot of this depends, according to the members of Congress I've spoken to, on how far the president is willing to go on those executive orders that he signed a week ago that deal with illegal immigration. The talk on Capitol Hill, and it comes from the leadership as well as some of the more backbench members, is to simply not fund the agencies that deal with the implementation of the president's agenda on immigration that he outlined the night before he signed the executive orders. Kevin McCarthy, the majority leader of the House, has hinted that is the action. Don't let the executive have the tools and the funding to execute the controversial orders. And that may well lead to a government shutdown. One could see the House and the Senate passing appropriations bills to fund the government and then finding the president not willing to sign it. Well, he would be the one responsible for the government shutdown.
Brother Gizzi, as we take a look at this, we would be remiss if we did not note another component, controversy within the House Republican Conference. Appropriations Committee Chair Hal Rogers was saying last week that, by his reckoning, Congress could not impound funds that are raised via fines, etc., by immigration, what we used to call Immigration and Naturalization Service, now Immigration Customs Enforcement, or ICE. However, the Congressional Research Service issued a report last week saying, no, Congress does have the wherewithal to control this. So with that in mind now, you're saying that CRS report has moved this debate forward to where Congress will take steps to directly challenge funding for the executive branch on immigration?
There's no question about it. And even before Chairman Rogers' statement and the report from Congressional Research Service, this was widely discussed among members. And as I said, in the backbench as well as in the front bench, the case in point being Majority Leader McCarthy. That is very likely the tactic Republicans and opponents of the executive action will take. And let me add something, JD. I don't know why Chairman Rogers sought to inject himself in this, since the tactic was widely discussed by people throughout his own conference. Those are some very surprising words from a member who's been here for 35 years.
A couple of minutes remain, John, and for purposes of full disclosure, Hal Rogers personally, one of my great friends during my days in Congress. As we ponder what is next, how much pressure? Look, there are a lot of, quote, establishment Republicans in the leadership, a lot of folks who want to make some sort of immigration deal with the president. Whatever happens in the next couple of weeks, looking ahead to the new Republican-controlled House and Senate, how much of a chance is there for a comparative handful of Republicans to join with the Democrat minority and pass some form of amnesty?
Well, as Majority Leader McCarthy said, referring to the bill that was passed in the Senate, that's not where the House Republicans are, not at all. Robert Goodlatte, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, has told this reporter many times, we don't do comprehensive well. Look at Obamacare. And he wants to pass anything dealing with illegal immigration incrementally, in small bills and packages. The White House is not hostile to that, and I do believe that's where the dialogue will begin. Valerie Jarrett, one of the president's top advisors, said she was open to that as well. I think this is going to take a while. This is not going to be done today or tomorrow, but that's where the talk will begin, passing parts of legislation dealing with immigration and beginning with border enforcement first.
Really? That's interesting. Border enforcement, 30 seconds. I was thinking it'd be the H-1B visa. That's the low-hanging fruit both sides agree on.
A reporter is only good as his sources, J.D., and Chairman Goodlatte, unless he's changed his mind in the last few weeks, indicated just before the elections that border security would be the first priority that the House Judiciary Committee would deal with.
Amen. Well, let's hope that in fact is the case, because I authored a bill called the Border Enforcement Act. Security first. John Gizzi, as always, we appreciate your insights. America's Forum continues following this update.